What do you know about the Fabelmans? I've seen the trailer once. But I still don't know what it's about, really.
It's about the Spielbergs.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it like a semi-autobiographical?
Yeah, it is.
I might go see that. It's PG-13, but I don't think it would be like the PG-13 where they're, they show a nipple in there. They say a couple times.
Well, they better. Well, they can only say once in a non-sexual tone.
That's
but
true.
There better be titties.
There better be.
There's no titties in the Fabelmans. I'm walking out. Welcome to A Cast with No Name. We're your hosts. I'm Jay.
And I'm Matt.
This is episode 33. This episode we'll be discussing a smorgasbord of topics because it's our Thanksgiving Day special.
Yay!
Yay! We'll be playing fortune teller as we predict the reception of the remaining movie releases for this year. Plus, we'll be talking about movies we like to watch around Thanksgiving. So pour a nice tall glass of family resentment as we pie-eat our way through this wonderful time of year. But first, don't forget to visit our website, acastwithnoname.com. Website's in the description, along with our email address if you want to comment on episodes, any of that good stuff. You can do it through there. So, it is mid-November.
Yep.
And
Wakanda just came out.
It did. It made some money.
$180 million.
Opening weekend?
Yes.
Jesus. You can tell I have my pulse on the the box office numbers. Last I looked, I saw 85 million, but I think that was probably
day one
Friday. Was it?
Day one.
So,
yeah, I'll look it up now, but yeah, I think I got the final official number, $181 million. Second highest opening weekend of this year. Nice. Right behind Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Which was $191 million.
Jeez.
I know.
I remember when Spider-Man was like $108 million or $106 million or something, and that was like huge.
I remember in 2002 when Spider-Man came out, it crossed $100 million over the first weekend, which had never been done before, and people thought that would never happen. And it happens
all the time.
All the time now.
Yeah. So it's your basic bitch movie that does that anymore. So.
What's that?
A basic bitch movie?
Yeah, what is
just
that?
Your typical whatever. 100 million's nothing. Not a big deal anymore.
It isn't a big deal anymore. Especially when you have a built-in fan base like Marvel, and people are going to come out to see it because they feel like they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any. Obviously, I haven't seen it in theaters. Obviously.
Me either.
But I haven't seen how people, I'm assuming. I haven't seen a bunch of, the only thing I scroll is Reddit, so
yeah.
I haven't seen anything really negative about the movies in comparison to like Morbius or Thor or some of the other movies that have come out. Usually, like if it's bad, people just shit on it.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any of that this weekend, so I'm assuming it's either it's fine or pretty good.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple people I listen to that I trust, which is tough nowadays because I feel like a lot of reviewers on YouTube, especially the ones that have millions of subscribers, I feel like, I could be wrong here, but I feel like they're paid by these companies to say these things, so I don't necessarily trust them.
No, it's their keen eye of critiquing film medium that gets them invited to opening days and press events.
Correct.
And they just follow their heart when they review stuff.
There's no bias whatsoever in these reviews. Like there's the Real Rejects. I started watching their videos a couple years ago. They're pretty entertaining guys, but as the years go on and they've gotten bigger, I'm like, really? You like every Marvel movie that comes out? You think every single one is good? Every one. So it's kind of like,
yeah, it's not like Pixar.
And now they have and now they have like opening day reactions before they even come out to the general public. So they get early screenings,
special screen. Wow.
Yeah, they do.
Got to get those positive reviews to keep getting those special screenings.
Yep, I know. So there's that, and then there's some people that I still trust. Chris Gore is a really good film critic. I like him a lot. He has a channel called Film Threat. He's pretty good, honest. he does spoiler and spoiler free review. So I watched his spoiler free review.
Okay.
And what he said, I would have thought that would have been my initial impression going in. He said it was too long, 2 hours and 42 minutes. That's how long the movie is.
Jeez. Well, I mean, they probably did have to do a lot of storytelling because Chadwick Boseman is not in it. And obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I can see. But that's a long ass.
It's a long movie. So he said it dragged a little bit. He said it felt like a Disney Plus show, like six 20-minute episodes strung together. Because I guess there's some characters in the movie that are going to have shows in the future on Disney Plus that they have to inject into the movie to
Let's
introduce
not worry
them.
about good storytelling and having a solid film. Let's set up all this shit.
Right, and he said the visual effects are nothing to write home about. Nothing that's nothing that's
extraordinary.
It's not an event movie kind of thing.
Yep.
And he said there's no stakes, which he's been saying like there's no stakes in these movies any longer. And
I think a lot of people have been saying that just because when people's contracts are going to be, there's no suspense. There's no. Yeah,
and he said the tribute to Chadwick Boseman was very well done, and so he's thinking that and I agree with him. I think that the opening box office is great, but it's going to have diminishing returns, kind of like Doctor Strange and Thor: Love and Thunder. The rewatchability just isn't there, so not like the first one. The first Black Panther was like an event. You had to go see that because it was like a first movie of its kind to that extent, that scale. And you were on the heel. You were leading into Endgame.
Yep. Yeah, because that was it was either the second to last film or the last film leading up to Infinity War.
Yeah. Prior to Infinity War.
Yeah.
Just prior to that.
That or Captain Marvel was.
It went Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, and then Endgame.
Jesus.
I know. So you had that going for it too. So there was rewatchability there. People wanted to keep going back to it, watch it because Endgame's coming up.
Yep. Okay. Well,
but yeah,
I'll
probably wait.
I will wait until I still haven't seen the first Black Panther.
Yeah, you keep telling me that. Probably start there.
I have no urge to watch Marvel movies.
I don't either. Not anymore.
I mean, I used to watch the Iron Mans quite a bit. And some like Guardians I've seen several times. But it's just exhausting. I mean, but I'm not going to watch Black Panther Wakanda until I watch the first Black Panther because I feel like it introduces a lot of characters a lot because my only knowledge of those characters are from Infinity War, which they weren't in a lot. They were in some, but I couldn't tell you people's names at all. So I can't do that now.
Well, there's too many. There's a ton.
So I'll probably wait till Disney Plus. Just I mean, I don't get.
Well, that's good because then you can watch whatever character they introduced. You can just continue on to that show.
Continue on to the TV. Absolutely not. Can't do TV shows.
I think it's Ironheart. I think that's the new character they introduced because she has a show.
Oh, did they introduce Ironheart in this movie?
Yeah.
That because she's the new Iron Man, pretty much. Yeah. She's like an MIT student.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's I don't know.
I don't even know who.
I'm kind of interested in that unless they make it a drama, like a teen drama thing.
Oh, kind of like the Marvels that just came out, or Miss Marvel.
Something
that was like a teen-centric show,
or like the Midnight Club, to where it's just
I don't. Well, it's not for you. It's for
I mean,
it's for 14 to 18-year-olds.
They need to make this for late 30-year-old males, white males.
Yeah, man babies.
I'll probably wait for Disney Plus. There's, I mean, all their effects look the same. It's, I don't know, and I'm not that invested with the character at all, obviously. So I think TV would be fine.
Yeah, and Chris Gore did say something that made me think of you. He's like, there's a gigantic third act set piece that's very dark, and I couldn't see anything.
Oh, great! They get the what's his nuts from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Miguel Sapochnik. Directing that scene. But I don't know.
Well, when the CG looks shitty, darken it up.
Yeah.
Play with that exposure.
Exactly. I tend to trust Chris Gore now over, I honestly don't think those are the real opinions of what they're actually thinking.
Mm-hmm.
The reviewers with multiple million subscribers and get their early viewings, and it's tough
a business
to trust
for
that.
them. I get it.
I get it too.
It's just another.
It's a nice life, right?
Marketing arm for Disney.
Right. It's a nice life, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
But that would just seem exhausting.
I guess. Yeah.
Like acting excited for something that's mediocre.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
It's like you see the posts on LinkedIn of all these people like putting out this like motivational shit, or like, hey, I'm eager to start the job with this wonderful team. Like, shut the fuck up. No one cares, and no one is that excited to work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
But yeah, just the celebration overhypeness of mediocrity.
It's the culture we live in, Jay.
I love it.
It's big business, baby.
It's good. It's all good.
It's good for the bottom line.
All right. So Black Panther's doing well. We'll see if it has legs or not.
Yeah. So I'm going to make a prediction. I think it'll finish with $390 to $400 million domestically.
Between 390 and 4 million, or
400 million, yeah.
Damn, that's like only a 10% or $10 million margin of error. Damn,
I know.
That's pretty.
I think it's going to follow the Doctor Strange path because that finished up with around like 420 million.
Okay.
I'm a nerd when it comes to numbers like this.
Yeah.
I just think like
Well, yeah, because I mean, if
financial backers of this are just tracking it all the time.
Yeah, it's what do they say? Is like a 30% drop is kind of like 30 to 50%. 50% drop is failure.
Yes.
30% drop is troubling.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see if it has.
It'll have. I think it will have like a 55 to 60% drop
Yeah.
after the first weekend.
Yeah, because I mean, you have. Looks like this weekend probably won't have much competition.
No.
Weekend after that, Thanksgiving, which will probably get a little bit of boost for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well.
Not much competition there other than like maybe Strange World and the Fablemans.
Yep.
The week after that, I don't know. It's got a little bit that I feel like there's really nothing to. I mean, the next thing that I think would crush Black Panther would be Avatar: The Way of Water, which is not out till mid-December. So it's got a pretty open playing field. A lot of the other things that are kind of coming out are more niche.
Yeah, I agree.
Things, but
let's talk about the niche things.
Yeah.
What do you know about the Fablemans? I've seen the trailer once. I still don't know what it's about, really.
It's about the Spielbergs.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it like a semi-autobiographical?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
You remember when I was talking about Close Encounters, to where it was inside the actor's studio, and Lipton was interviewing Spielberg, and Spielberg was talking about his childhood. His father was a scientist, his mother was a music teacher, and then they ended up getting a divorce. And that's why he has a lot of single parents in his films and everything like that. And then Lipton brought up, well, in Close Encounters, you have humans talking with aliens, and they use a computer to generate music to speak with each other because his father was a computer scientist. Right. And that never occurred to Spielberg as far as just being a coincidence as far as what attracted him to the story.
Lipton was Freud for a second there.
Yeah, he was. And so, yeah, you have the Fablemans, which has Michelle Williams and Paul Dano as Mr. and Mrs. Fableman. Looks like Michelle Williams is a piano teacher or something in music, or she wanted to be in music. You have Paul Dano, who's more looks mathematical or more of the STEM profession. And
he looks STEM.
Yeah.
Oh, he bleeds STEM.
Yes. And they have a child, and the child wants to make movies.
Okay.
So it looks like mainly autobiographical.
Right.
Which, if anyone's going to do a movie about his life, probably should be him.
Right. Did he write it?
I don't know. You're asking me hard questions. He did write it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Him and Tony Kushner.
Okay.
So
Tony Kushner's a good writer. He wrote Schindler's List, and I think Saving Private Ryan, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So that comes out November 23rd, which good time. It's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah. I might go see that.
I would like to see that.
PG-13. I don't, I don't know.
Yeah, if your kids could sit through it.
If they could sit through it. That's the question. It's a tough one. It's PG-13, but I don't think it would be like the PG-13 where they're, they show a nipple in there. They say fuck a couple times.
Well, they better. Well, they can only say fuck once in a non-sexual tone.
That's
but
true.
There better be titties.
There better be.
There's no titties in the Fablemans. I'm walking out.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Steven Spielberg, and but that storyline seems kind of like, I don't think it'll be a box office hit. Well, what does that mean? Probably do like 18 to 20 million over the Thanksgiving holiday and have some pretty good legs because word of mouth would be like it's a good movie. I think it'll be a critically good movie. I think critics will like it. Audiences will probably like it. Get some legs and maybe end up with like $80 million domestically.
I'm guessing $35 million opening.
Okay.
Maybe 40. Just because it is a family film.
Okay.
I hope it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it has a risk of just being mediocre or, like it'll just get lost in Spielberg's filmography.
Kind of like War Horse.
Yeah. Which I never saw. I mean,
right. Got lost.
So I had no urge to see it. This I actually do have an urge to see just because of the main character wanting to make movies and easy thing to relate to for people who like
movies. Yeah.
But I feel like the subject matter obviously may be too close to him for him to do the story justice, and it may just fall into mediocrity.
Gotcha.
Or just
Yeah.
But I hope it's good. I hope it surprises me. Paul Dano, I think, will probably crush it. He crushes anything he's in. Michelle Williams is
Yeah. She's okay.
She's okay.
Yeah.
Judd Hirsch is good.
Seth Rogen's in it too.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. It'll probably get a $35 million opening. And depending, obviously, how good the movie is, I think will depend if it has legs.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like it's. I feel like I'm getting Hugo vibes for some reason.
Okay. It's got that Oscar Beatty vibe.
Yeah, a little bit, and
because it's going to be nominated for Oscars. It's a Spielberg movie about movies.
Yeah.
And the Oscar voters are going to cream in their pants. Ugh. Movie about movies.
Well, I think the movie that people cream in their pants about will be the She Said. I
just saw the trailer to this.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to get Best Picture nomination because Hollywood can't stop fucking themselves.
It's true.
Or that's not right. Jerking each other off. That's it. So
when's that come out?
Already
out?
Yeah, I think it's already out. But
I just heard about this movie last week. That's one of those movies
came out this past weekend. So it's good. Smushy McSmush face and but yeah, that I think is going to get it's going to get the obligatory. I haven't looked at the reception at all, but if it's a good movie, it's going to get nominated for Best Picture.
Of course.
Just because you can throw in 10 pictures.
Now you can throw in 10.
So
there you go.
They got to put it in there like, we recognize our evil doings, and
that's right.
This is going to make up for it because we made a movie about ourselves and how much better we've come along. Kind of bullshit.
Right.
So
were men allowed on the set to this movie?
I'm
going to look it up right now.
I don't know. And if it's a crap movie, then it'll get a token Oscar nom on something. But I think it's going to be one of those. I have a feeling it'll probably be one of those movies that no one sees that gets nominated and just starts winning awards because, we got to bring attention to this. Let people know that, hey, guys, we're sorry for, decades and generations of abuse that we let go and continue to let go.
Yeah. But we made a movie about it.
We made a movie about it, so we're sorry. So
we're very sorry.
We grew. Listen to us again. But,
all right, I'm looking at the cast and crew here, directed by Maria Schrader. That should be a woman. Written by Rebecca Lakinowitz, woman. Produced by Lexi Barta, Megan Ellison, Dee Dee Gardner, Sue Nagel, and Brad Pitt. There you go. There's a guy. Music by Nicholas Bertel. There's a guy. Cinematographer Natasha Breyer. Film editing Francine Maisler. Production design Meredith Lippincott. Set decoration Philippa Culpepper. Costume design Brittany Lawyer. Lots of women in this.
Well,
they let Brad Pitt in though. There you go.
I think. Well, he has Plan B.
Yeah, production company.
So.
There we go. I'm not shitting on women. I'm just saying. It's so, I don't know. Obvious? Is that the right word?
Yeah. It's.
Who knows? It might be good.
Yeah. It's got Andre Brower from Brooklyn Nine-Nine in it. I like him.
Ooh, yeah, Andre Brower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Andrea, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, I said Andre Brower.
Brower.
Fucking me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What else we got going on here?
Strange World, Disney. That I think will bomb.
Oh, tell me why.
It's just the trailer doesn't even look enticing. I love animation.
I do too.
It doesn't. It doesn't look like anything, but it looks like a fine adventure thing. But I mean, it either they spent a lot of money on it, and they need to get their money back, which is why they're releasing it, or they think, okay, hey, Thanksgiving, throw out an animation, families will come see this because I mean, yeah, Bones and All, and a movie called Devotion that's coming out the same. It's a war movie. I mean, maybe they're thinking, families will go see this over the Fabelmans and Bones and All, which I guess I could kind of see if you have young kids, but it doesn't look. I like the artwork of the poster.
Yeah.
It looks like that serial, like pulpy kind of.
But what's it about?
I don't know.
Exactly.
A strange world.
Exactly.
They go into looks like the center of the earth or something, and
yep.
But I don't know.
That's where I think you're right.
It just looks
because no one knows what it's about. What's unique about the idea?
I don't know. Unless they just haven't put it in trailers yet. I mean, it could be a nice surprise, but I don't. There's nothing I've seen so far from that or that made me feel like, ooh, I kind of want to see that.
I gotta go see that.
I mean, Lightyear. I mean, of course, let go to the other side. Lightyear, I think, had a fantastic trailer, and I saw the movie. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like the time travel aspect of it. But it was fine.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very weak Pixar movie.
Yeah.
But maybe this one would be the other way, to where the trailer's mediocre and it comes out and it's amazing. I don't know.
Could be.
Iron Giant, I don't remember having a very good trailer, but that's a phenomenal film.
It's very good. Didn't do very good at the box office, though.
Nope. So, I mean, maybe Strange World will be a good one, but I feel like that's just going to be a
Yeah. I think you're right. I don't think it's going to do very well either.
So,
simply because I don't know what it's about, and there's nothing interesting about that idea. It's just a strange world. It's not like, Zootopia or Inside Out or Frozen or Up, like where there's a unique idea that you can market that stands out.
Yeah. See, this is a summary. The legendary Clades are a family of explorers whose differences threaten to topple their latest and most crucial mission. And what I gather from the trailer, I think it has like an in-law. It's like an in-law relationship or something like that, or like a guy is like married into this family, and
okay,
I don't know.
Kind of reminds me of The Croods, where there's like a.
I never saw that.
It's just not a fleshed out idea. That's. I mean, yeah, it's a kiddie movie, but it's not. There's nothing unique about it. There's just nothing there. I mean, that movie did okay for an animated movie. I think it'll do that. I think Strange World will make ultimately like $140 million, which is kind of a disappointment. I'm sure the production budget on this movie was like
I'm sure it's like 200 million.
Right,
With as
150
many
at least.
animators that you got to have and on that
Yeah.
stuff. But
In Devotion, so it's a war movie, you're right. Guess who's in it?
well, spoiler, I'm looking at it right now. It's got Hangman from
Yeah. I guess
from
he's
Top Gun.
typecast. He can only play pilots from now on.
Poor guy.
Glenn Powell. Not a boy.
Got that square jaw.
Dude, Jonathan Majors is in everything now.
Yeah?
Everything. So he's in this. He plays Kang, the Conqueror. He's the new villain in Phase 5 and 6 of the MCU.
Okay.
He's like the Thanos. He's the new guy.
Okay.
And he's in the new Creed 3 coming up. He plays...
yeah, he is.
and he's jacked. He is yoked.
Yeah. The guy's pretty big. Yeah, I
My
saw the Creed
God.
trailer, Creed 3 trailer.
Yeah.
I haven't seen part 2. I liked part 1. Did I? Wait, no. Did I see part? I think I've seen parts of part 2.
Part 2's okay.
And then the girls were making noise, and I couldn't finish it.
Just ruined your life, didn't they?
It did. And
Just ruined everything.
Threw the TV out the goddamn window. But yeah, I noticed him in the Creed 3 trailer, and then so Kang. Okay, so
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, he's going to be in Ant-Man Quantonium. It comes out in February.
Okay, that's. I was trying to think. I was like, I saw that name somewhere, and it was in the Quantumanium or Quantumanium.
He was in the last episode of Loki. He was the guy.
I never saw Loki.
Well, there you go. See, why would you?
There's
too much shit.
I'm such a Marvel fan.
Loki's the last Disney Plus Marvel show that I watched.
Okay.
Then I got off the train after it.
Yeah, it's just too much content.
It is a lot of content.
Way too much content.
But I do like Jonathan Majors. He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
So I like war movies. I don't know. I might.
I heard All Quiet on the Western Front's pretty good.
I want to see that.
And I thought about seeing that this weekend, except by the time I put the girls to bed, then I'm tired, and then I go to sleep. Like a baby.
Like a baby.
Like a baby.
So you didn't do it.
But it's released right now. It's on
Netflix.
Netflix movie.
Looks good.
Yeah, I mean, and it's been getting pretty positive reviews. Excuse me. I remember reading the book in college. Don't remember the book, but I remember having to read the book in college.
As is everybody else. I think that was on the sophomore or junior reading list.
Something.
You had to read that?
Because my history class that I took, we had to read that, and then March of the Dead Soldiers or March of the Undead Soldiers, something, another war book. Both of those left lasting impressions on me because I couldn't really tell you the difference between the two. So,
how dare you?
I know. Yeah, some war movies I think are pretty good.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Devotion's got a big marketing push, so I don't think it's gonna.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a trailer. I think
it'll peter out.
Yeah.
Like what was that movie that? Oh crap! The pilot movie that George Lucas. Red Tails.
Red Tails. Yeah.
That didn't do anything.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
Movie. I was looking forward to that because I was like, oh sweet, George Lucas is doing something other than. And then the movie came out and everyone shit on it. And I was like, well, I'm going to take everybody's word for it and not check it out for myself.
Yeah.
So there's that. But, yeah, you think it'll be similar to that?
I don't know.
Because
it reminds me of that.
Red Tails had a decent marketing push
for
it. Just because it was George Lucas that had done it. But, yeah, I haven't heard anything about Devotion. At all. So I think it'll probably 12 million.
I'll be nice. 25 million. I'll double it.
That works.
Yeah. And then there's this movie called Bones and All. Have you heard about this?
It's got
Timothy
Chalamet.
Timothy Prettyface.
The skinny guy that all the girls like. See, I was born in the wrong generation.
I know.
I would have been the bee's knees
You would have
around
been.
this time. Just super skinny, kind of gawky looking.
Yeah. Kind of frail.
Yeah, a little frail, like a stiff wind blows me over.
Get the big head.
Yeah.
Right?
A little bit. Yeah, big head compared to the body.
Slanted jaw.
Yeah, well, I was just more of a round circle face kind of guy, but I've heard some buzz about it. Other than, of course, I mean, it's a horror movie, correct?
Apparently, it's about a couple that goes on a road trip, kind of like Natural Born Killers, where they kill people and then they eat them.
Fun. And
a rousing trip for the whole family.
Yeah, that's coming out Thanksgiving. Nice little.
There you go.
A little foodie movie.
I see what they did there.
It's pretty good.
I don't know. It strikes me as one of those movies. The guy who did it was, oh man, the same director who did Call Me by Your Name and Blue is the Warmest Color.
Okay.
And the Suspiria remake, which
so he does more
Luca
offbeat.
Guadagnino. Yeah, he does offbeat films, and they're impressionist and artistic and very slow. So I just have the suspicion that this is just going to be a slow burn with very very dramatic performances.
Yeah. Mark Rylance is in it? Yeah. I mean,
I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be a box office hit. I'd say 15 million.
Ooh. Yeah.
If that.
Hopefully you don't get all the teenagers wanting to eat people. That'll be a problem.
Yeah, it's gonna turn on TikTok.
Yeah. the eat person challenge.
Yeah.
You get everyone coming out. Please don't do the TikTok challenge.
Yes.
As their arm gets cut off and they eat it. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think out of November weekend. So that means The Menu. I really want to see The Menu. I've heard good things about it.
So yeah, that came out last weekend.
It did.
Yeah. So that's another good Thanksgiving.
I know.
Movie.
So yeah, The Menu. I want to see. Heard good things about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So as we move along, so this weekend we have The Fabelmans, Bones and All, Devotion, and Strange World being released. What do you think is going to be the winner?
Of the new releases?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of those four.
Strange World. Just because it's a family movie.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. It'll be Strange World. Close behind it, I think, will be The Fable. Well, about 5 million, 10 million less than Strange World, I think, will be The Fabelmans. And then you'll have Bones and All, and Devotion will be number 8 of the top 10 box.
Really? You think Bones and All is going to beat it?
Beat Devotion?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Just because I've seen stuff for Bones and All. I haven't seen anything. I mean, I've heard talk of Bones and All. I haven't heard it. I found out about Devotion today.
That's a good point.
I think you're gonna get 4 veterans that go to that movie, and that'll be it.
Including me. Listen, I want to be contrarian here. I'm gonna say Devotion does better than Bones and All.
I will hold you to that.
Okay.
And if you're wrong, you have to join the military again.
It's impossible.
So, yeah. What else is coming up?
So in December,
Violent Night.
Violent Night.
So, have you seen a trailer of that?
I have.
Okay, good. Then you don't need to see the movie because I saw the trailer also. Which, if you want to see Violent Night, just watch the trailer and you'll see the movie.
That's true.
You have David Harbour and Beverly D'Angelo and John Leguizamo. David Harbour plays Santa, but not your grandfather's Santa. He plays a cussing, ass-kicking Santa, and he's going to take people off his naughty list.
Is that the tagline?
I don't know. Probably.
Well, you made it up, but it's good. That's about right.
But yeah, so it's an action comedy. David Harbour plays Santa, and he stumbles upon this house that I think there's kidnappers in there. They're like trying to rob this billionaire's family's safe, and Santa comes to town and
kicks ass. Murders people.
It looked ridiculous.
And it's supposed to be.
It is. It is supposed to be over the top, but there was nothing in the trailer that I was like, oh, that's clever, or that's funny, because they usually show the better parts of the movie in the trailer, and if the trailer doesn't get me amped up, then I'm like,
don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
I think you're right there.
Unless it's just like a hidden gem, kind of like a Bad Santa or something, to where, oh no, it's hilarious, and they just happen to not. Maybe they didn't know how to make a trailer, or maybe the rest of the movie is like way too over the top that they can't do it in the trailer. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to do very well at all. I'm surprised it's
Getting a theatrical run?
Yeah, that is something that I feel like would not even be on streaming. It would be a direct-to-DVD movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I agree with you on that point. The theatrical run point, I think if it went to like streaming on Netflix, I think it would be fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it feels like. It feels like a thrown together movie, like something super quick. And
it's going to be ridiculous because Tommy Wirkola directed it, and he did the Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter movie. Did you ever see that?
No. Is that the one with Jeremy Renner and
Gemma Arterton? Arterton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the movie. So it's going to be over the top and violent, and I'm sure there'll be some one-liners in there, but I think you're right. I don't think it's going to do very well in theater. It won't make that much money. I'd say like $20 million.
I don't even know what movies do on opening weekend now.
Like anything less than $10 million is not good. If this movie opens less than $10 million, it's not good.
$15 million.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Because no one's going to go out of their way to see that. They're going to wait to go see Avatar.
That's fair. It's fair.
But yeah. What else we got?
And the week after that, Empire of Light, which is another Oscar bait movie directed by Sam Mendes.
Oh, Jesus. I used to
It used to be what?
I used to look forward to his movie. Like when he did American Beauty, which a lot of people don't like that.
I like that movie.
I like that movie. I like Road to Perdition because I liked his framing and what he had his cinematographer do. Because I like the symmetry, obviously, because I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan, but I like pretty framed shots.
He does that very well.
Did that very well because I think I was like a kick on that, like the late 90s, early 2000s, because you had Garden State where Zach Braff did a lot of nice shots like that in his film. You had Road to Perdition, American Beauty, and then the earlier Wes Anderson. You had a lot of symmetry. And I was amped up for that, for him doing Bond. Then he did Bond. Then he did Bond. I
like Skyfall. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yes. And then
Spectre.
Yeah.
Kind of shit the bed for you.
Yeah, I feel like he phoned. I feel like
he's phoning it in.
A lot of people were phoning it in on that one. But so I mean, I didn't watch. Was it 1914? Was his
1917?
1917 was his previous one, where it was all one shot.
Awesome.
I haven't seen that yet.
That movie's awesome.
And I probably will at some point, but I felt like when it came out, I was like, if that's the gimmick, then
it's a really good movie.
So that's what I hear. So,
yeah.
But
you need to give it a fair shot, Jake.
So what's Empire of Light about?
A drama about the power of human connection during turbulent times, set in an English coastal town in the early 1980s. Yeah, you fell asleep, didn't you?
What?
Stars Olivia Colman and Colin Firth. I mean, the trailer, it's very beautiful, like you said. Symmetry. Beautiful shots. Olivia Colman's crying and yelling in the trailer. It's going to be very emotion-packed and powerful.
I like Olivia Colman.
I do too.
It kills me that she is like a powerhouse serious actress, because whenever I see her, I think of Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
So, like, when she won her Oscar, I'm like, she was in fucking Hot Fuzz?
That's how fast it happens, baby.
Even though that movie's like 15 years old now.
I mean, when Tom Hanks won his Oscar, that people are like, the bosom buddy guy?
Yeah. The guy who pissed really long in A League of Their Own?
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, yeah, Toby Jones, Colin Firth, and...
Yep. It's Oscar bait. I think it'll make like, I don't know, $20 to $30 million. Because again, what's it about? It's set during a turbulent time. There's emotions.
Yeah,
that really doesn't play all too well in the hall, unless it's like just critically, and the word of mouth is just out of this world.
mm-hmm.
But I don't see that happening.
We'll see. I mean, they could have done a very. I mean, I can't imagine American Beauty having that powerful of a synopsis.
It's true
thing too, but that movie was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have Empire of Light, and then also the same weekend you have The Whale, which I don't know if that's getting a wide release at that time.
I think it's getting a wide release in January.
Okay. That I want to see.
I do too.
Brendan Fraser.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah. Heard a lot of good things about it. So.
And I've told you I like The Wrestler a lot.
Yeah,
I like
you're a big Darren Aronofsky fan.
When he doesn't go out there, his movie Mother is fucking weird. And
I haven't seen The Wrestler. I heard it's good.
It's very good. I like it a lot.
Is it depressing?
In parts, I guess, but it's not like to the point where it's not like Requiem for a Dream where that you're just depressed watching that movie. It's just about a guy who is trying to reconcile his relationship with his daughter, and he does to an extent throughout the movie. So no, I wouldn't say it's completely depressing.
Yeah. Okay.
There's some redemption arcs in there that are pretty good.
I might check it out. Yeah, because I mean the thing that comes to mind is Black Swan and Requiem for a Dream, which Requiem for a Dream I've seen several times, and Black Swan I think I saw once just because I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
So. There was a couple shots in there that I liked when they had the camera panning back and forth, and you saw the instructor in front of the mirror, and you didn't see the camera in front of the mirror. I like that shot. But yeah, I feel like a lot of his films I have to be in a certain
mood to do it.
Yeah, especially if I don't know really anything about the movie.
Yeah.
But
you do, because he'll make a movie like The Fountain, which is it's beautiful to look at, but then like the story's stupid. And then Noah.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Oh,
for several reasons.
You can tell he did it for the paycheck.
Yeah.
There's too many studio producer notes in that movie. It's so dumb.
As soon as they hired Russell Crowe, I was like,
oh,
out,
of course,
fucking done.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's not L.A. Confidential Part 2? Don't care.
Don't care. Is that the only movie you like with him in it?
Might be.
L.A. Confidential.
I did enjoy him in Thor: Love and Thunder.
That's the one movie I hate him in. I hate that character.
I don't think he was acting in that. I think he's just like, hey, Russell, just be yourself.
You think so? Then he went out back and shot himself in the face.
But yeah, The Whale. I'm looking forward to seeing The Whale.
Me too.
I think Brendan Fraser will get an Oscar for that before even seeing it. I think it's already been decided.
You think so?
Yep.
You don't think he's going to get a lot of fat suit blowback?
Nope. He is going to get an Oscar for it because he was blacklisted because of sexual harassment things, and
he alleged that somebody else was sexually harassing him.
Correct.
Not the other way around.
Correct.
Yeah.
If
it was the other way
Brendan
around,
Fraser would never do that. He is America's sweetheart. He's a goddamn national treasure.
Nah. Because when you sexually assault people in Hollywood now, that you wouldn't get a redemption for that.
Correct.
But you can have sex with underage girls and be, world renowned and critically acclaimed and still nominated for Oscars.
And win Oscars.
Absolutely. That's fine.
Up until to a point. Then once enough people say, hey, that's not right. And then they're like, oh, well, I didn't mean it. But yeah, I think he's going to win an Oscar.
I think you're right there.
He'll be like, sorry, we kicked you out in your prime.
Sorry about that.
Does this make it better? Sorry, we're all pieces of shit, but
yeah. What a shit town. What a bunch of fucking hypocrites. Jesus. They're all the worst, aren't they?
They are.
They really are. How do they sleep at night?
On their covered with
I know.
awesome thousands and millions of dollars.
Someone pulls a rope and just $1 million bills just come down.
How do they sleep at night? Probably with underage kids.
With multiple kids.
And their secretaries and people who want to be stars.
Yes.
So, but no, I'm looking forward to The Whale.
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is actually getting a theatrical run here.
Yeah.
And a Netflix release.
So they're just going to be releasing that, I imagine, because I think Netflix owns a theater in Los Angeles.
To get it nominated for something?
Yeah. Okay. And I think I don't know if it's one or two theaters, because I think there's like a minimum to where it needs to be released for like a certain amount of time. They usually release something for like a week. Yeah. And just to get past that bylaw, if they want to get something nominated.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to it. I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, I'll watch it on Netflix. I won't. Obviously, I'm not going to fly to LA to watch it.
No.
Because that would be stupid. But yeah, I'll watch that, and then maybe we'll have a Pinocchio episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we had three Pinocchio movies come out.
Yep, that's right.
We had
the Disney Plus remake.
The Disney Plus with Tom Hanks, directed by Robert Zemeckis. And
that's about right.
My number one favorite director. He's just maintaining that number one spot. That's all right. He's old. He's doing
old.
It for money.
He's doing it for money.
And then you had the Guillermo del Toro, and then you had the unknown Pauly Shore Pinocchio movie, which was a Russian film that they released in the States, and then they just got American actors to voice
really?
Over. Yeah. So it was actually a Russian film, and then they just got some American people.
And that includes Pauly Shore?
And John Heder, Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it animated or is it live?
Yeah, it's animated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah.
Microsoft 95, baby.
Yeah. It's they did it with MS Paint.
Nice.
Very well done.
Yeah, it's abstract.
But yeah, maybe we'll do one comparing all those three gems. But yeah, so then we have after that the big one is Avatar.
Ooh. So what do you think?
So the second trailer came out.
Yeah. Underwhelmed? Or were you just whelmed?
I was whelmed. I was like, yep, it's in water, I guess.
There's a lot of water in this.
Like, I'm an outsider. I'm like, oh, that old chestnut.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough for me to predict because the first Avatar, everyone went and saw it because it was an event film. You had to go see it in theaters. I feel like this will probably be similar. I know he's shooting. It's in 3D, and I know he's shooting some scenes at a high frame rate. So normally, with most people, all right, everybody, 24 frames a second. So you get 24 pictures during a movie. That's normal. You see 24 individual pictures, and that's what creates 1 second of film, and that's what gives you the effect of motion. High frame rate, you can do 48 frames per second, or you can do 96 frame. Like you could just keep doubling it. You could just keep doing higher and higher frame rates. And I believe Peter Jackson did that with The Hobbit in 3D. The first
one, yeah. People were complaining about it.
He did the first one in 48 frames per second in 3D, and a lot of people complained because it looked too, like you could see the outline of the CG.
Yeah.
And what the problem is when you do that, because when you do a high frame rate, you lose. People said, oh, it looked weird. Well, the weird thing about it is there's no motion blur. So when you move your hand in front of your face, you can kind of see a little bit of a blur. And 24 frames just happen to be that magic number to where something looks similar to how things look in real life. That's why when you look at older films, they kind of look sped up a little bit because it was actually shot at about 15 frames per second. So it kind of looked, but when you play it back at 24 or 30 frames per second on TV,
it looks normal.
It looks a little jittery and stuff like that. But then as technology evolved, they went to 24 frames a second. And they're like, oh, that's a sweet spot, and that's what it's been for 80
forever
years. So, but I know some scenes in Avatar are high frame rates, and I don't know if it's 48 or if it's going to be higher than that. But with 48 frames or higher frame rates, you can allow more light. You get less dimming with the 3D. And, I mean, I think the 3D will look
phenomenal.
I'm assuming it'll look phenomenal.
Yeah.
It'll be very, very sad if everyone's like, yeah, it looks all right. Like, everyone is just so desensitized with effects now that they're like, yeah, it's fine. I think it'll look pretty good.
Never doubt him.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think the story's going to be that but I don't want to say that either.
Yeah.
Because the Avatar story sucked.
Yeah. It's okay.
But the other stories he's done are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Titanic is good. I mean, True Lies, which is like his forgotten film. I mean, it's an entertaining story. It was fun. Avatar for me wasn't that fun. It was just kind of like preachy a little bit, or like it was trying to be something. It was trying to elevate itself to a point that it should have been more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just too preachy, or it was trying to take itself too seriously.
But it overcame that because it was an event.
Yeah, and it had legs. And like a lot of his film, like his Titanic didn't have a huge opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was, okay, the movie came out, and then people just kept talking about it, and it was something you had to go see. The first Avatar was like that. I don't know. I think this is going to be one of those movies that, oh, you got to go see it. Or what I feel like it's got to have a great story, because I feel like a lot of people, the general audience, is going to go, they'll see this, and they will compare it to when they saw the first Avatar, and people had either built up Avatar so much in their heads as far as, oh, I remember the 3D and everything, and people will probably go and be like, yeah, it was about the same. Or it'll be, oh, it's amazing. Like, it's so much better than the first one, kind of like as far as visually and everything. Story, I don't think is going to be there. I hope it is, but everything I saw in the trailer is just like, oh, your kids are outsiders now because you are an Avatar.
How can they build from that original story that was kind of weak to begin with?
I feel like they're just hitting on the same shit.
Yeah, and there's 3 more after this.
Like, it's his kids that are outsiders now instead of him, and it's 3 more. Ugh.
That's why the story's going to be very important, because I agree with you to an extent. I think this is going to be the biggest opening of the year because of that factor of people remember seeing it in the theaters back in 2009 and remember it being an event, and I think it's going to have that effect of, I want to go see this the opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be there. I'm predicting that it's going to open with, like, I'm going to say 220 million. I think it's going to break 200 million. But whether or not it has legs depends on everything you just said. If the story's not there, because I don't think the effects are going to be like, it's not going to be an event. Like, I feel like I'm going to go see it in 3D and be like, oh, I've seen this before. I remember this.
Mm-hmm.
But if the story isn't there and the word of mouth isn't there, I don't think it's going to have the same legs that the first Avatar did, and I don't think it will. So ultimately, I think it's going to finish with like around, I'd say like a little over 500 million.
Mm-hmm. And I hope I would be willing to relinquish awesome visuals for better story.
Yeah, me too.
Because just for the sake of the franchise, just because if the story's not there, it's just. Because next year, when the next one gets released, it'll be like the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe thing.
Yeah, just diminishing returns. That's another thing. If the story isn't there, just the next releases of the next 3 movies are diminishing returns.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like Fantastic Beasts. They're not even making them anymore. They plan on 5. After the 3rd one, no thank you. Yeah. All done.
Yeah, we'll see on that. I mean, I watched the trailer again today, and It's like it's a computer animated film.
I know. But you know what? Again, James Cameron, never doubt him.
I know.
I could be an ass and it has legs and it ends up being the top grossing movie of all time. Who knows? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. There's a family element to it. Maybe that'll get me.
I mean, that's why I recommended Avatar back in 2009 when I saw it. I said, listen, I mean, it's like Dances with Wolves in outer space, but I'm telling you what, you got to go see it in 3D. It's awesome.
And that's what I feel like most everyone was saying. It's like, you just have to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
What's the story like?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Just get immersed in the world. It's pretty cool.
Which I will say, I had the palm sweats when they're on the floating mountains.
That was awesome.
To where I had a little, not vertigo, but I had that sense of like I was really high up.
Yeah, that was almost worth it in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
The admission, it was pretty cool.
But yeah, we'll see. God, I miss people having sex with their dragons.
All right. And then, so for Christmas, they got Puss in Boots, the long-anticipated sequel to Puss in Boots.
Yeah,
that's not going to do very well.
Anyone cares about that.
No one cares.
Babylon.
Oh yeah.
So
looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of Damon Chazelle.
He's only made 2 movies.
For Shizzle.
I'm sorry, 3 movies.
Yeah, he's because he did Whiplash, he did First Man,
And La La Land.
And La La Land. I liked.
Have you ever heard that the Between Two Ferns outtakes on that?
Mm-mm.
So he's talking to John Legend, who was a music consultant on La La Land.
Yeah.
And he goes, "How did you feel about La La Land? Did you like the fact that it gave white people a chance to explain jazz to black people?" Oh man,
that's good.
That's very good. Sorry, continue.
I liked La La Land. I liked Whiplash. Whiplash, I think, was a better movie than both La La Land and First Man. I mean, they're different films,
movies,
but I feel like Whiplash was more engaging. La La Land's pretty good. First Man was,
yeah,
it was okay.
I was a little whelmed.
I was looking forward to that, but I think it had issues because there was a documentary that came out. It was about the first moon landing, and they took all this footage from the 60s and they upscaled it. They redid like a lot of what Peter Jackson's doing with older footage now, to where he's refurbishing it and touching it up and making it look pristine, and then doing documentaries on it. It was a documentary similar to that. The name of it's escaping me. But
was this on Disney Plus?
No, it was it a Nat Geo thing? It might be on there. I saw it on an airplane. But it was there was no narrator. No, it just had it was just video clips.
Oh, cool.
Of leading up to it, and just technicians talking to the astronauts, everything else, and all that good stuff. And I feel like that got more praise than what this movie did. And from what I understand, the ending of First Man was the same ending as that documentary.
Oh, really?
To where that was like the big thing, is that they had the footage from when they were on the moon, supposedly, and it was like this big breathtaking finale of the thing. And I think First Man had to change the way that they were going to do the ending, because it was very similar to the documentary or something like that. It was like the 50th anniversary thing that NASA released. And
I remember watching First Man and thinking, wow, Ryan Gosling, Neil Armstrong, he's not a likable guy at all in this.
Yeah, there was, what was that? There was a miniseries that came out around the same time. God.
What, From the Earth to the Moon?
No.
Oh, they came out the same time as First Man.
About the same time as First Man. Miniseries about space. It had Alan Shepard. It was The Right Stuff, the miniseries.
The
Right
Disney
Stuff.
Plus. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I never watched it.
Oh, it was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it. Of course, I mean, I like
Space. Yeah,
I like that shit. So,
yeah.
but I thought the acting was good. I enjoyed that a lot. That was probably of that stuff that came out like a couple of years ago or 2 or 3 years ago, because I think it all came out like around 2019, 2018. That was probably my favorite thing they did. I don't think they ever did a season 2.
Oh, they just roped you in for a subscription.
Oh shit. Fucking mouse.
I know. I remember when Disney Plus came out in 2019. There was like 4 original shows. There was like Jeff Goldblum questions everything, and then there was
which that was disappointing.
and there was Kristen Bell was singing songs, and then it was just the Disney catalog, and that was it. And now it's just jam packed with fucking crap, just overstuffed with shit.
You gotta get that fucking content.
It's just everywhere.
Are they not gonna do?
They're not. They're there to disappoint you, Jay. Hey, the money's in Marvel. It's in Star Wars, baby. That's where the money's going.
So dumb. So dumb.
So are you excited for Babylon, though?
I guess. I mean, I saw the trailer and I didn't.
It looks pretty good.
It just looked kind of batshit. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if it'll be kind of like satirical or anything in any way.
It seems like there's a satirical tone to it. But it's a Hollywood movie. It's going to get nominated for a bunch of Oscars because it's about Hollywood, just like La La Land.
I'm interested. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see it because I will say, with La La Land, some of the musical numbers and the dance sequences, they shut down the highway. Like some of the things I watched because I'm not big into musicals, and that's kind of half of a musical because I forgot it was a musical halfway through. But there were shots in there and sequences. I was like, this is pretty good. I mean, the guy is our age.
I know.
And he's able to direct musicals, I feel like, better. Like he's able to kind of pull a little bit of that classical musical style out, and he was able to modernize it and make it entertaining. Not that Babylon's a musical, but there's a lot of dancing in it. That's the only reason why I thought of it. So, I mean, the choreography I think will probably be pretty good. And
yeah, a lot of flappers, 20s dancing.
yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'll go see it in theaters. Well, Avatar. I got to pick my spots. Well, I don't know. I'll probably call off 2 weeks of work or something at the end of the year anyway, so I'll probably go see it.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'll go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all the big stuff.
It's all the big stuff.
How do you think Babylon will do?
I think it'll do like 70 million.
Jesus, opening weekend?
No,
Total.
No, opening weekend probably like, I don't know, 18, 20 million. Something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Unless it gets like critically
unless it's one of
and-
those movies that just has a good, like a fantastic story. I feel like stuff like that is what gives movie, like, unless it's just a good all-around solid movie. I mean, that's what I feel like gives movies legs. The only one I could think of this year was Top Gun that did that. And because that was in theaters, I feel like forever. But rightfully so. I mean, unless, yeah. If not, then it'll be in and out and be on.
Or the performances are just amazing. Like, I think The Whale is going to do very well. I think it's going to have legs. Everyone's going to keep talking about Brendan Fraser all the way up until
I think
Oscar
movie
season.
nerds will. I think it's in that because you have tiers of films that people watch. So like movies like The Reader that will win awards, but only 4 people have seen that, and I think 3 of them were producers.
Obviously,
I don't think Kate Winslet even saw it. And then you have movies like that bottom rung to where no one sees, and then you have movies that are a little bit like a step up, and that's where I think The Whale's going to live, to where movie nerds will watch it, and Brendan Fraser fans may or may not watch it. But I don't think it's going to cross that threshold into mainstream independent movies. Like The King's Speech was an independent movie, felt like an independent movie. I think it was kind of a major studio.
But it was bolstered by Colin Firth's performance.
Yeah. And it was shot like an independent film. It had some quirky framing or whatever. But it was a low-key movie that got a lot of attention. I don't feel like The Whale is like that. I think it'll be similar to The Wrestler to a lot of, like, once it's out of theaters, I think a lot of people will then watch it, or that's how they're going to see it. But while it's in theaters, I don't see it doing too well.
I disagree.
Well, you're wrong.
I think it's going to cross the 100 million threshold. I think it's a great example of The King's Speech. I think it's going to play like The King's Speech.
Okay. I hope it does.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
If it's good, I hope it does.
Yeah.
If it's dog shit, I don't want everyone to praise it, because people shouldn't praise shit. They just shouldn't.
You shouldn't praise shit?
No. Just be honest, people.
What's wrong with you? Well, you don't care that
celebration
people
of mediocrity.
The guy was shunned from Hollywood. It's a comeback story.
No.
People love it.
I want to see The Mummy, Part 4.
I do too. I'd see it. Bring back Rachel Weisz. Because she wasn't in the third one.
She wasn't.
It's a mistake.
But no. Get Brendan Fraser going. Get him back in his...
Oh, yeah.
Because how old is he?
I think he's in his 50s.
So he could still get it. I mean, he's got the middle-aged body, which is fine.
It's okay. Get a dietitian, get some... Go work out with The Rock. Get some fucking steroids.
68. So, yeah, he's mid-50s.
Yeah.
He could get it. He could get it.
Get some HGH in you.
Yeah. I saw a
The Rock's
Belvedere
fucking 50.
vodka commercial with Daniel Craig dancing around. He's 55.
There you go.
He's been in shape for the past 20
True.
years, but
True.
I think Brendan Fraser could get it.
Oh, he can shed that weight off easily. He can do it.
Mummy.
Yeah.
Do the fucking Mummy.
That's right. Harrison Ford's 90. He's in Indiana Jones 5 that's coming out.
Yeah. Which I hope an Irishman situation doesn't happen, to where they just put young face on him, and then you get the T-Rex arms of him like stomping somebody in the curb.
Yeah.
Just 80-year-old man moving around. And
yeah.
I hope they have a choreographer that knows how to do stunts for that old of a person.
Yeah.
That I think will be the clincher. If it's...
Maybe they'll have the guy who plays Michael Myers in Halloween, the newer ones. Maybe he'll be the stunt double for Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones 5. He seems like he can handle himself. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm thinking Avatar is still going to make a shit ton of money.
Yep.
And I think if I had to pick a surprise, I would say... I don't think The Whale's going to be a surprise. I think people are going to go see that. But probably The Fabelmans. If it's a nice, heartwarming movie, and it's critically acclaimed and audiences like it, I think it might have legs and families will go see it.
Yeah. I'd like Fabelmans to be awesome.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't felt anything from a movie in a long time. I'm dead inside.
You are dead inside.
Fucking
weird.
Mediocre shit that's been coming out for only 5 years.
Yeah.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick made me feel something. That scene with Val Kilmer.
All right, easy.
I was
Jesus.
like, oh.
Oh, that one.
That's nice.
Thought you were talking about the football scene.
We need more scenes like this. Well, yeah. That goes without saying.
So many abs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. All right. Well,
Alrighty then. Well,
that's the rest of all the big ones coming out.
The rest of the stuff is released on Netflix or Disney Plus, and I'm sure that's going to be
fucking exhausting.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that's going to be released on streaming that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't coming out until next year, but John Wick trailer, chapter 4. Did you see that trailer yet?
I saw Donnie Yen in it.
Donnie Yen?
Donnie Yen, sorry. What did I say?
Get names right.
Listen.
Show respect.
Listen. You got to give me a mulligan on this.
What'd you think of the trailer?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It seemed more of the same stuff.
It felt...
I was waiting for like a signature action piece because each of the trailers before had like a signature.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
And I didn't either. And I was like, I'm not seeing anything new, and I'm not. Which I think we're getting into the story part of things, like the lore, I guess, of that world, which is fine. I'd love to find out more about that. But some of the fight scenes that I saw, I mean, and I'm not saying this to be mean or anything, but Keanu Reeves was a little slow, but he is...
He's almost 60.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's old.
And Donnie Yen is also up there.
He is.
So,
yep.
But again, I'm looking forward to that fight scene.
I am too.
Anything with Donnie Yen in it, I love the Ip Man movies.
Yeah.
And
I'm still gonna go see it because I love.
Yeah.
I
Ian
love these
McShane's in
movies.
it still.
Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne.
Yep.
Come on.
The Merovingian.
Yes. It's gonna be good. Do you know they're doing spin-offs now of John Wick?
With Ana de Armas.
Yeah.
Armas.
Ana de Armas. Yeah.
Ana de Armas. Which I enjoyed her in No Time to Die.
I haven't seen it yet.
What?
I haven't seen No Time to Die yet. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the latest James Bond?
It's on Amazon Prime. I just haven't gotten around to see it. It's, Spectre wasn't that great, so I'm not like just clamoring to go see it.
Oh, but
I'll watch it. Calm down.
She's great in it, by the way.
She's good in it? Okay.
She's only in it for like 5 minutes.
All right.
But
it's a good 5 minutes?
Yeah. It's
it's a good 5 minutes for you? She did it for you?
It's pretty good. It was, because that was the first thing, because I had seen her in Knives Out.
Yeah.
She looked like a completely different person in No Time to Die. But her character in No Time, it was fun. Like it was a fun 5 minutes, but
cool.
Pretty good scene. So because she's in a spinoff, the John Wick spinoff, The Ballerina.
Yeah.
Which I think that'll be. I mean,
I don't even know what it's about.
A ballerina.
Is she just another John Wick assassin?
I assume so. I don't know. I didn't look into it. I've only seen headlines like, Ana de Armas or Arma Retta is in the John Wick spinoff. But
big shoes to fill. Those action set pieces better be practically done and amazing.
Yeah. I'll see it.
She better be in the fucking range like Keanu, just doing all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
With the SEALs.
Tech shit.
Yeah.
The
tactical training or whatever.
Guy I work with, it was lunch today, and he told me, he's like, yeah, because I was like, you guys do anything fun this past weekend? He's like, I did advanced firearm training.
Oh, cool.
At the range. I was like, yeah, tell me about that. But he said it was like a lot of movement drills and like reload drills and how to cock your pistol like with one hand and stuff. I was like, were you doing that like that John Wick thing?
Yeah,
where
yeah.
He like pulls the slide back with one hand and checks it with each hand.
Yeah.
All day he's like, no, we didn't do that. But he was talking about all these drills that he was doing. And I was like, you need to have that guy start teaching you some John Wick shit, like 2 in the chest, 1 in the face, 2 in the chest, 1 in the face, and Spartan kick him through the fucking window or something.
I remember when I watched the first one, I was stationed in Hawaii at the time, and I saw it with a couple of the guys on my boat. They didn't want to go see it at all. I had to force them to go see it. They were like, I don't want to go see fucking Keanu Reeves. I don't want to see Neo. They're like, I don't want to see fucking Neo. This is going to be stupid. They came out of it like, that's the best fucking movie I've ever seen, man. He's like, that's the only time I've seen them actually handle a gun, shoot the gun the way you're supposed to shoot a gun. Yeah. Very impressed.
I love how he reloads the shotgun.
Yeah.
And in those films.
Yeah. That's what those movies do so well. Like, obviously, a lot of it's choreographed, but the realism of how you run out of bullets and you have to reload.
Yep.
taking that into account, I don't think that had ever been done before in an action movie. I can't think of one where
The only one I
can
could think of where they talked about running out of bullets was Last Action Hero, when they're at the end.
They make fun of it.
He says because there's that scene at the end when you have Dance, Jonathan Dance,
Charles Dance. Yeah.
Jonathan Dance. Jesus. Charles Dance is pointing the gun at Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he has that line. He's like, "You see, in this world, in the real world, bad guys can win." And he pulls the trigger, and the gun clicks.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing, because my dad took me to see that, and he kind of giggled, and he's like, "They could also run out of bullets." And I was like, "Huh," because I think I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, they never run out of bullets in movies, do they?"
They don't. Yeah.
That's the only other movie that comes to mind whenever I think of running out of bullets.
That's true.
Last Action Hero, but yeah, that'll be good. All right, well, anything else on upcoming?
No, I think we beat it. Beat it to death.
Yeah, we didn't do a top 5
No,
Thanksgiving movies because there's not that many.
No, there really
I know
isn't.
of 2
off the top of
my
your
head.
Yeah.
It's Home for the Holidays and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which we touched on Planes, Trains a little bit in the top 5 80s comedies. I feel like it's a little too soon. Maybe we'll do it next year or something like that. We'll talk about that. Home for the Holidays is a little hidden gem. I've only seen it once.
I've never seen it.
Was it Holly Hunter?
Yeah, you got it right here.
And Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
And
Anne Bancroft. Mrs. Robinson.
So, and it came out in the early 90s. It was directed by Jodie Foster.
95.
Directed by Jodie Foster. It's a comedy, drama kind of a thing.
Okay.
A woman, if I remember correctly, a woman goes back to her hometown. I think she was just let go, or she was just went through a breakup or something.
Yep.
Robert Downey Jr. plays her brother, who is just kind of a mess in his life, which coincidentally so was he during that time.
Yeah.
And because I think he was dealing with his addiction issues. But he's great in it.
He looks like he's dealing with his addiction. He's got the penis haircut.
Yeah. But those are the only 2 movies off the top of my head that are actually like Thanksgiving themed.
Right. Oh, it's got what's that guy's name?
Oh, the guy who played
Charles Durning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
He plays the father.
Yeah.
And but those are the only 2 movies that off the top of my head as far as.
When's the last time you saw Home for the Holidays?
Probably 2007, 2008.
Wow, it's been a minute.
Yeah. So, but now I've
You
only
liked
seen
it enough to buy it though.
Yeah.
so.
Well, I think I saw it at like a disc replay or like one of those things.
I saw it for $1, and I just thought,
I
why
think
not?
so. It was like
Yeah.
for $1. I was like, yeah, that's worth $1. And
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. It was in my physical media buying phase.
How long did that phase last?
A long fucking
A long time.
I did. One of the times when I got insurance, I was checking to see if I was overinsured or underinsured, and I did a count of my Blu-rays and DVDs, and I just based it off brand new price of how much I had and spent for. Now it's fucking depressing.
Where after that, you're like, what? What am I doing?
A little bit, and I think I had bought some movies after the fact, but I was buying movies that either A, I really, really wanted, or I was completing collections in preparation for having kids. So I knew, like, as soon as the Disney Diamond Edition Blu-rays or anything like that came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get all the classic cartoons. I'm gonna get all of that stuff because this is before streaming. And I was like, that way I'll have it. I don't have to wait for it to pop out of the Disney vault again. And that way the kids can watch that. They can watch the Marvel movies. So I was like buying these collections, all the Pixar movies. I was like trying to get that organized and set. And by the time we had kids, then streaming was
Streaming
all over.
took a giant shit on your
And I was like,
entire
God damn it.
enterprise.
So, but no, I think it was like I want to say, I think like $20,000.
Oh my God, Jay.
But that's assuming it was all
The price of a new
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
New thing.
Gotcha.
And which a lot of my normal DVD, my Blu-rays, I think I mainly bought full price. Every once in a while, I found a deal on a Blu-ray. If I could find a deal, I would get it. Like the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit extended edition Blu-rays. Those I bought on sale. I think Best Buy had them on sale. It was like half off or something ridiculous. And I'm like, yep.
Getting it.
And got that. Some of the other ones, like a lot of the DVDs, this is when I was building my collection. It was at the time when video stores were starting to go by the wayside.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the independent ones. So Blockbuster was still there, Family Video's still there, and a lot of the independent ones were going out of business. And if I happened to drive by one and say, "Hey, DVD sale," and I'd pull in, and I could get like 15 movies for like $20 or something like that. So I bought a lot of them like that. But
$20,000.
But look at it this way: if I traded them in,
Yeah.
I could get tens
Tens of dollars. You sure could. It makes you feel better, right?
Yeah. It's depressing.
I love some of the choices you got over here.
Like what?
You have like the Hobbit and all the Bonds and Alien, like all these really great movies. And then you look over in your DVDs and you got Grind and The One.
Hey, The One, the best, probably one of the best multiverse movies.
It is pretty good.
Yeah. The
Multiverse before multiverse.
Yep. And yeah, I know. I got.
You can tell what picks you got that were on the dollar bin at the clearance.
Oh yeah, yeah, you definitely can, because I think some of the stickers are still on them, which that just always irked me. Like when they put stickers on the packaging, because I like the packaging just to be clear.
Yeah, you got the Purge. I didn't think you'd be the Purge kind of guy.
That's your sister.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Inglorious Bastards. That's your sister. The jazz singer. That's me.
You don't say? Chrissy's a big jazz singer fan.
Hey, Neil Diamond's the shit. And
Yeah.
But yeah, you got Country Strong. That's your sister. Cloak and Dagger. That's me.
That's you. That screams you.
Yeah. You could almost. I could almost. I don't know. I guess a typical white male growing up in the 90s and 2000s and 80s, you could probably pinpoint when I bought certain movies and guess how old I was when I bought these movies. Like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Mallrats.
Yeah, you're a solid teenager then, right?
Yeah. That was
Well, I see Dogma, and I love that movie, and I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, that's right
They don't-
there.
I know, but
because
they-
I have it.
Well, they don't sell it anymore.
I know.
I wanted to buy it on Amazon because I love it.
You can't even get it digitally?
No, it's not on iTunes.
That's the only thing I like about physical media,
Yeah.
because you have one, if it's not streaming somewhere, or two, they censor the shit out of it or change it
Yeah.
because of current sensibilities or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And which is a crime against art. And yeah, there's a lot of shit.
A lot of shit.
A lot of fucking shit. Every once
I
in a while.
still, you know what? I still get the urge to want to buy like a Blu-ray.
I don't.
I enjoy opening it up. It's like a book. You know what I mean?
I like it. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just
I like the idea of opening it up and putting it in the actual player and committing to it versus a streaming service where I put it on and then like, you know.
Yeah, it's more special.
Right.
Because it's
I'll
like,
fall
almost
asleep.
like a what do I want to say? An act of, it's like a
commitment,
a ceremony almost.
It is. Yes, there
a
you
little
go.
bit of or like kind of not ceremony, but more of an event, I guess. It's you have that physical opening. It's like you're committing to doing something.
Yeah.
As opposed to just flipping through. Oh, fuck, I'll put this on.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino said something about that. How he misses going to the video store. And you look around, you commit to like those 2 movies, and you have to watch them because you have to return them the next day or else you get late fees. Yeah.
And
I
I
do miss
remember that. Yeah, renting something and then watching it multiple times before you return.
Absolutely.
It.
Or you would get home and be like, this is what I'm doing tonight. And that's it. Nothing else comes up. You're committed to doing it.
Yeah. And I've lost the urge to buy. I will still buy physical media on Criterion, and I think that's it. Or if something comes out like on 4K, because the problem was I had a pretty decent DVD collection, and then Blu-ray came out, and then I started upgrading my favorite movies from DVD to Blu-ray. And I'd get rid of the DVD versions once I got the Blu-ray because they had better bonus features, all that stuff. And then I started doing that. But then once I got one movie on Blu-ray, for example, if a movie came out to where I got the first 2 movies on DVD, and then by the time the third one came out, it was on Blu-ray, and I bought it on Blu-ray, I'd have to go back and buy the other ones too. Even if it was a movie that I wasn't that much of a fan of, the part of me needed to have the complete set in Blu-ray.
You're still compelled to do it.
Yes. And even though I may never watch it, something inside of me that I just had to have everything in Blu-ray for that particular franchise or series of films.
That is a mild form of OCD you got going on there.
A little bit. And there's the packaging. I used to be ridiculous about the packaging to where I wouldn't like people borrowing my movies.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they had kids.
Yeah.
Or animals. Or if they were smokers or whatever.
Or if they walked funny.
Something. Yeah.
Or
I mean,
if they had too much, a little bit. Liquid coming out of their nose.
Yeah. And I'm not being tongue-in-cheek about this. I've had people at work.
If they voted Democrat.
I have a buddy at work that's a big Bruce Lee fan.
Okay.
And I bought the Bruce Lee box set on Criterion. And it's got a nice little insert and everything else like that.
Oh, you like Bruce Lee, don't you?
I let him borrow it, and he never watched it. It's just sitting in his house. I've never been to his house. I can't imagine his house being in that good of shape.
You had a feeling.
I've had a feeling just from his stories that he's like just
hit
like my dog shit on the carpet and fucking rubs his ass all over, and I'm like, oh God. But he's one of the few I could actually talk kung fu movies with at work, and he doesn't have a lot. Like at the time, he didn't have a lot of expendable income, or disposable income, to where you buy something like that. I'm like, hey, I got these on Blu-ray. Would you be interested in watching them? They got some sweet bonus features, all that shit. And he's like, oh yeah. Let him borrow them, and he had them for like 2 or 3 months, and then I was like, hey, have you watched those yet? I check it like once a month. I'm like, watch them yet? Oh, no, yeah, I've just been so busy, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like itching at the time, and I was like, hey, I kind of want to, I want to check out those bonus features again. He's like, oh, okay, I'll bring it in. And then I got it back because I was concerned it would just get lost in mayhem and shit.
What happened? Was there smears?
No. Because I was very adamant when I lent it to him. I was like, dude, I'm serious. I don't want corner creases. I don't want shit on top. And I don't know. I was very particular about that shit to the point to where if you can see, you have the Hunger Games, and then you have Catching Fire, and then Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2 came out. And the Mockingjay, you can see, is a little bit taller than Catching Fire and the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And that bugged the shit out of me.
Did it?
I was seriously, because those were Target editions.
Oh.
But I got them because they had the better bonus features. But the packaging was different. And they never released a version that was similar to the Catching Fire and
the original movie.
The original movie. that bothered me.
I wish I was there.
I was debating about returning them because I didn't.
Did you write a strongly worded letter?
No.
You didn't? Email?
I knew they wouldn't care. I got Jurassic World as a birthday present. And if you look, you see Jurassic Park Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, and then right next to it, Jurassic World, which came in this circular thing. When I opened it, Christy saw
the look on your face?
The look on my face. And
we're like, we're getting divorced.
Well, no, she didn't give it to me. A buddy of mine gave it to me.
Okay.
And he's like, "Do you like that movie?" I was like, "Yeah, I like that movie." And I wasn't disappointed that I got the movie. I was disappointed because I got that packaging and it wasn't going to fit with the other packaging. And it just
bugged you.
It bugged me. And so that I can't, because and now we have 4K. I only have a couple of 4K movies. I think I have Close Encounters, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, for whatever the fucking reason.
What happened there?
I think Christy got that.
Oh,
okay. And then I have the Peanuts holiday specials, and I think...
How much better is 4K than Blu-ray?
Don't know, because I still don't have a 4K TV or a 4K player because I'm too cheap now. I went completely the other way. Because I don't want to get a TV until we move.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the lighting situation's going to be. That's going to depend on, that'll dictate
on
what
the
TV
room.
I get. Yeah.
It depends on the TV.
And I still haven't picked up a 4K player, because why would I pick up a 4K player if I don't have a 4K TV? So,
wow, you're just in a box of conundrums.
Yeah, it's everything's riding on finding a house, so I can upgrade all my video library. But even then, I don't think I would buy. There were certain movies I would buy on 4K, like Back to the Future trilogy. They're probably
that you've already bought on Blu-ray.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's not, because before it was like, oh, I'm going to get everything on Blu-ray, because there is a discernible difference between 1080p and 480.
For sure. Yeah. There's no doubt.
And but with 4K, I don't know. And there's probably not a lot of movies that I would. There's some movies I still haven't gotten on Blu-ray that I like on DVD that I'll probably get on 4K, like It's a Wonderful Life, and what else?
So you're not going to continue your journey of collecting movies in 4K?
No,
you're done.
Yeah, there'll probably be some certain animated, like WALL-E, when it comes out on Criterion. That comes out on 4K. I'm going to get that in 4K, because WALL-E, I think, is probably one of the most beautiful animated films ever.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, I mean, because with 4K, it depends. Like, if it was shot digitally, I'm probably not going to get it on 4K because it's going to look like dog shit. Mm-hmm. It's going to be overly processed. If it was shot on film, then yes, I will probably get 4K. Because...
So you wouldn't get WALL-E on 4K?
No, I would get WALL-E on 4K.
You would?
Because they can upscale. I mean... it depends what the masters are. So if they do a 4K transfer, because I don't recall the resolution they did that animation, but because if they wanted to, they could probably re-render or re-export or something. Like, it depends if the master was 4K, then it'll probably look great on 4K. But if you have a movie like, what was that Daniel Boyle movie, the zombie one, 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later. That was shot on digital video. So something like that on 4K is going to look like shit, because, and it would even look questionable on Blu-ray, because, I mean, some of these movies, if the master or if the transfer of the digital, if it was 2K shot or like mastered in 2K and then they release a 4K, they have to transfer that. They're pretty much blowing it up a little bit. So, I mean, granted, they can go in post and they can kind of touch it up and sharpen it a little bit. But if it wasn't shot on film, it has a hard time getting to that resolution. And then after 4K, you have 8K. And again, if it's shot in 6K and they're blowing it up to 8K, it's just not going to look great.
Not gonna look good.
It won't look any better than what it would in 4K, in my opinion. So it depends on what it was shot in. So, but if it was film, then probably look pretty good in 4K. But if it was shot in 2K or whatever,
then nah. So what made you stop doing it? Is it just strictly it was too much money, or you just lost interest?
A little of both. Time, interests,
Kids.
yeah, that. Because it was, I mean, it was every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, baby.
And it would be like $60 a week.
Yeah.
Depending on how many movies came out that I wanted. But I think part of it was money, but I think mainly it was just interest, to where I spent a lot of time just sitting and watching movies, to where now I'll still sit and watch stuff, but I'm over it almost, to where, and maybe that's why I'm one of my friends will ask me what I thought of a movie or whatever. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, don't you like movies anymore? I'm like, yeah, if they'd make something fucking good, but there's nothing that's like blown my socks off. And maybe that's just because I watched so many movies when I was younger.
Yeah.
That I was exposed to a bunch of different kinds of movies, to where I was like, oh shit, I was like, this is amazing. And then maybe I'm at the point where I felt like I've seen everything, where nothing has really been like a nice surprise that much.
Well, I'm right there with you. I've seen so many movies that it's really tough to surprise me if something's good. It's really hard.
Yeah. And it's just a time investment, to where I feel like there's better things I should be doing than consuming content all the time, as you listeners are listening to this podcast.
I know. Is this a movie podcast?
Go fucking do something, would you? Jesus. So it's a little bit of that. Like I don't have a lot of time anymore, and I like to read. I like to do other things, or there's other things I feel like I have to be doing.
We have to be more selective about what we consume. Yeah, for sure.
And to where I don't have. I mean, that's why when we do the podcast sometimes, or we do a top 5, it's tough to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever our top 5 would be, or or even movies that just came out this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen quite a bit of stuff, but I feel like I haven't seen that much stuff that I have in previous years, to where I would just watch things nonstop. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of the money thing, but it was a lot of work. And
a lot of unnecessary work.
Yeah. And it doesn't, I don't know.
Do you find yourself rewatching a lot of it? Like, would you rather rewatch something that you've bought or that you like over like a newer Netflix release or something?
Yeah.
I do that a lot, honestly.
Just because, and that's the crotchety side of me, to where I know what I'm getting and I know what I like.
Yeah.
And I think I'm moving more towards that, just because the amount of shit that comes out on a regular basis.
I know, it's a lot. It's a lot of shit.
It's all mediocre too. I mean,
very
it's
mediocre.
Not good. A lot of it is not good. There's
a lot of it's forgettable.
Yeah. And
none of it stands out.
Inconsequential. Really. It's just it just doesn't matter. Now there's some new stuff that comes out that I look forward to. Mm-hmm. Like Mike Flanagan. That's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
That
I do too.
When he comes out with something, I'll make it a point to watch that. So there are certain people that will make things like James Mangold or
Christopher Nolan.
And you have some of these people that when they make something, you know it's going to be special. Mm-hmm. But anymore there's just so much shit, to where it's like and they're all TV shows, to where I don't feel like I want to invest 12 hours in something I don't think it's going to be
if
good.
it's dog shit.
So, I mean, typically I'm not one to, brand new show came out, gotta watch it kind of a thing. It's more of I'll wait. And if people start talking about it and like, oh, it's pretty, and I hear buzz about it, then I'll check it out, just to see what the hubbub is. But just for things coming out, I don't know. No.
Yeah.
I'll wait to see what people say.
What the wind is pointing to.
Yeah, especially movies coming out in theaters. Unless it's a property that like James Bond. Anytime a James Bond comes out, I'm gonna watch it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. But it's gotten to the point like Marvel. Just because it comes out doesn't mean I'll go watch it.
Yeah, it has to be something that I'm interested in seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch every Pixar movie in theaters.
Yeah. I did too.
That is no longer the case, and I think COVID might have a little bit to do with that, just because Luca came out on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Lightyear was in theaters for 3 weeks, but so I don't have a lot of time, but because now it's an ordeal to go to the theaters. To where before, if I was bored, I'll go check out a movie.
Yeah. You got kids now.
But yeah, I feel like I would rather go back and watch something, especially if it's something that I can get something new out of every time I watch it.
Yep.
Some movies like Back to the Future, I used to watch all the time. Now I'll watch that maybe once every year and a half.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it so often, but every once in a while I'll be in the mood to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go back and watch things that I know that I like.
I do the same thing.
Are good
all the time. Especially for we're supposed to be talking about Thanksgiving movies.
Yeah, fuck. All right.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. So, Thanksgiving. We're not doing a top 5 because not a lot of movies, but there are certain films that we typically start to watch. We're on the cusp of Christmas.
Yep.
So, for you, what are some movies that we're just going to talk about some movies that we like to watch around Thanksgiving that are kind of leading up to the holidays or anything like that. But how about you start it off? What are some movies that you like to watch? So what movies do you like to watch around Thanksgiving?
Well, when I was thinking about these on Googling movies at Thanksgiving, there really isn't that many. So I just kind of go. I try to go off the top of my head. What would I watch normally? And they all centered around like a family drama / comedy, not necessarily pertaining to Thanksgiving in particular. Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Obviously, it takes place around Thanksgiving, but it's not about Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Or Grumpy Old Men. That's another one that I love watching around Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Or Son-in-Law.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Son-in-Law?
Yeah, I've seen Son-in-Law.
It's one of those dumb, stupid movies that it's just fun to throw on because it's just entertaining and
that is
dumb.
Around Thanksgiving.
It is, yeah.
Didn't even think about that.
But it's just, again, it's centered around a family, outsider, all that family dynamics, all that good stuff. Or like Parenthood.
Never seen that.
Or
That's Steve Martin. Isn't it Goldie Hawn?
No. Diane Lane.
Okay.
Yeah. Randy Quaid's in it too.
All right.
Keanu Reeves is in it. It's like one of his first.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of his first roles. He plays like the rebel boyfriend that's trying to date Steve Martin's daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So movies like that and in that ilk.
Okay.
So I love Grumpy Old Men. I watch that every Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because it's classic.
Burgess
Do you like Grumpy Old
Meredith
Men?
in that movie is.
Oh, he's the best.
Is so good.
He's the best. I had a clip of Burgess Meredith's best hits, but my fucking laptop drained the battery.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It's probably my fault for talking about my goddamn movie collection for a fucking half hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I probably watch that with my parents around Thanksgiving. I'll watch. I will watch It's Thanksgiving Charlie Brown or Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, whatever, that special.
I've seen that once, I think.
Okay. That
I was never a big Charlie Brown fan.
See, because every Thanksgiving I would go to New York.
Really?
For
the city?
Upstate New York.
Okay.
So because that's where my grandparents lived. So school got out on a Wednesday, drove up, and we'd spend the weekend there. And my grandparents didn't have a huge movie collection, but they did have Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. And I would watch that all the time. And I think eventually my parents recorded it off TV one time, and I'd just watch it over and over, even if it wasn't Thanksgiving. It was probably the special that I watched the most. But that comes to mind. And more often than not, James Bond movies. Just because.
Really?
Yeah. Because you had, a lot of James Bond movies do come out around Thanksgiving or early December. I think No Time to Die came out in October, like mid-October.
Mm-hmm.
But Pierce Brosnan's GoldenEye came out in November.
Mm-hmm.
And Tomorrow Never Dies, I think, came out in the summer. But then you had Die Another Day and The World Is Not Enough. Both came out in November.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's James Bond season.
Yeah, it's James Bond season. And so when we were when I was a young teen, mid-teens, was when Pierce Brosnan's run of James Bond was out. So we'd be in New York, and a lot of times it would be the Friday after Thanksgiving, and my dad would say, well, there's a new James Bond movie out. So then we'd all go to the mall.
You go see it?
And we'd go see it. So I equate James Bond with Thanksgiving.
Makes sense.
And again, just because when I was a kid, that's what we did. But now Spike has, Spike for years, I think going on 20 years probably, they've had James Bond marathons the week of Thanksgiving.
Oh, Spike TV.
Yeah, Spike TV.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
probably the kids out there who don't know what Spike.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck is that? Is that a
I
new
think
TikTok
it's still
trend?
around. I Googled it to see if they still did it.
I think it is still there.
And yeah, they're having it again this year. So if you haven't seen a James Bond movie, they're having a marathon.
Well, wasn't Spike tailored for guys?
Yeah.
Like the guys channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then they have like the Men Awards where they would hand out like antlers. Like a bust of like best male like beard, and they would hand out like antlers, like the bust of a deer or
probably.
whatever. Yeah. It's so gimmicky.
The
best male musk.
I wasn't very manly. As shocker as it may be, I wasn't very manly when I was a kid.
You're pretty butch.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I have short hair now. Back when I was a kid, I had hair, I shit you not, down to my shoulders. I did not.
No, you didn't. You're a liar.
My mom never let me have it that long. So I watch a lot of Bond movies. Usually, and even older Bond movies, a lot of them were released later in the year around Christmas.
Yeah,
or,
it's true. Is Brosnan your favorite Bond?
No.
Wow.
No.
Who's your favorite Bond?
I don't know. It's
Roger Moore?
Fuck that. That's no one's favorite Bond.
Roger Lansbury?
George Lazenby.
Is it George Lazenby?
Yeah.
What did I say? George Lansbury?
Yeah.
You know, the husband of
Angela Lansbury. I didn't mind him.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know who my favorite Bond is. I don't know. Everyone says Sean Connery. Sean Connery's good.
Yeah.
I like individual movies.
Yeah.
More so because I think every Bond person has good qualities.
Mm-hmm.
I
had never seen Dr. No until last year.
Really?
No, never seen it.
It's a little. It's the first one.
It's but the introduction was Sean Connery. I'm like, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Bee's knees. Yeah.
What a handsome man.
Yeah. He was
slick.
I think he was 32.
Yeah. Just the way he delivered that line, I'm like, man, that guy's really good.
Yeah, he was. It was the same kind of thing with Raiders of the Lost Ark, to where Harrison Ford was immediately that character. Sean Connery was immediately like he just.
Yeah, I agree.
Either him or the director knew what that character needed to be immediately, and of course they had a slew of books, not a slew, but they had quite a few books to go off at the time. But I don't know. I like each Bond except for Roger Moore. For their own, I mean, they each
are
brought
those
something.
Roger Moore movies pretty tough to get through?
Yeah. There's Spy Who Loved Me and For Your Eyes Only are okay. But there's, I mean, I think he was like in 7 or 8 movies, but it felt.
I think
like,
he was in the most. Yeah.
It felt like a long time, and because I had gotten the Bond box set for Christmas one year, and I forced Christy to watch. We just went through every single one of them, and a lot of the Roger Moore ones I'd never seen.
Ooh, that poor girl.
She would fall asleep. She stayed up for like the ones that I was excited to see.
Okay, all
we
right.
got to Roger Moore, and we watched Live and Let Die, and whatever the second one that he did, I think.
Octopussy?
No, that was in '83.
Man with the Golden Gun?
That was about mid-'70s. I think Man with the Golden Gun might have been his third one. But
didn't that one have Christopher Lee in it?
yeah.
Okay.
And
did one have Christopher Walken too?
We'd one did have that was A View to a Kill.
Okay.
That was in '85. And also had a young Dolph Lundgren, I think.
Really?
I think. But yeah, Roger Moore's were just difficult. Like,
just tough to get through.
Because I was like, and another Roger Moore one. Christy's like, he's still in the, and it was like six or 7 movies or something.
Yeah.
It felt like a long time.
But then once you get to Timothy Dalton, the quality kind of ramps up a little bit again.
Yeah, because Timothy Dalton's were darker. He was more serious. Roger Moore is very, very playful, and he thought it should be a comedy and should be kind of slapsticky, and he thought it was ridiculous.
Right.
Which they are kind of ridiculous movies, but I don't know. It just took too far into comedy or goofiness, especially with the later Roger Moore ones. So going from A View to a Kill and some of the goofier movies to Timothy Dalton, where he was a lot more serious and wasn't very, I mean, there was very little humor in it. It was kind of jarring, but I enjoyed them. Because you had The Living Daylights, which was his first one, and then you had License to Kill. License to Kill is just a straight up revenge movie.
Oh, cool.
And then you had lawsuits and everything else after that, which delayed movies for like I think 6 or 7 years until GoldenEye. But Timothy Dalton, it was very similar to Daniel Craig as far as
the tone.
Yeah, the tone, and probably Timothy Dalton was probably the closest book version of Bond next to Daniel Craig.
Okay.
And Daniel Craig had, I mean, it's closer to the book version than what Pierce Brosnan or Roger Moore was. Sean Connery, I feel like, yeah, Daniel Craig and Timothy Dalton's were closer to the book than what Sean Connery was.
So he's not as playful or, he's just more serious in the books.
Yeah, he's kind of like a machine in the books.
Okay.
To where he knows what he likes. He does what he needs to do. He's very, not determined, but just focused. And not, I don't want to say not a lot of personality, because his personality kind of comes through in his actions, as opposed to his internal thoughts is more of, in the books, very not sexual. Like he'll have sexual thoughts, not anything graphic, but it'll just like thought across it, like the way Ian Fleming writes it. But he writes it in the third person, so it's not like I went up the stairs and blah blah blah. It's not in the first person point of view. It's a third person narrative.
Okay, gotcha.
Which kind of distance. So you're almost watching this character similar
to a movie.
But yeah, love him. Oh God, so good. But yeah, so I mean, but with the Bond movies, probably, I mean, usually Goldfinger, or like I'll usually watch an older Bond movie around Thanksgiving, either Sean Connery or I like Goldeneye though, and Tomorrow Never Dies I think is still pretty strong.
Pretty good.
It's because it's before it went to the goofiness of Die Another Day.
Yeah.
Or, The World Is Not Enough kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it's like more nostalgia for you.
A little bit.
Gives you that feeling.
It's kind of like comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, it's comfort.
And another, it's about on the cusp of typically like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So, but because those movies are so long and there's 6 of them, we start watching them around Thanksgiving, which The Hobbit's very Thanksgiving-y, especially like the first one when they're in the Hobbit hole.
Yeah.
It's just one of that cozy kind of movie.
Yep.
So that'll be the other ones we kind of start watching around that time, just because, so we can finish it up and then move on to the Christmas movies.
Right.
But Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, Christy and I will usually think of them as Christmas movies just because it takes us so long to get through them.
Get through them?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw. That's cute. Yeah. But I enjoyed those those early to mid 90s like family comedy drama centric movies. They really don't make those anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like Father of the Bride is another one that comes to mind. That's something I might pop on for Thanksgiving. A lot of the times, because it's a lot of middle class families that kind of remind me of situations that I had when I was growing up or whatever. Especially grumpy old men. It's just funny. And you're right, Burgess Meredith is just the best.
Yeah.
Looks like Chuck's gonna bury his boner.
Jesus, Dad.
Jesus, oh God, Dad. Looks like Chuck's taking old One Eye to the optometrist.
Oh, I'm from Hawaii. What island? Come on, I want to lay ya.
And, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau are just,
Yeah,
awesome.
it was Chris Farley and David Spade before Chris Farley and David Spade.
For sure.
But
just better actors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Way better actors. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just, the chemistry that they have together is just, I don't think has been matched. Like, I can't think of another duo that's been in several things together.
Yeah.
For as long as, maybe Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're just, as far as comedy goes, those two were, their timing was awesome, and
they're amazing.
Yeah, they played it off of each other very, very well.
Yeah, and I think Grumpy Old Men is kind of underrated. It doesn't get talked about a lot. It's a
I think it's just gotten
movie.
old to where.
Yeah, but
I remember. I feel like people still talked about it like 15 years ago. Because it was still. It was 10 years old at the time. Now they're like, it's getting close to 30 years.
30 years old.
30 years when they came out, and
yeah.
With the amount of stuff that keeps coming out, I feel like it's less likely for younger people to discover some of those older movies that were very notable. And it could probably be something that just happened every generation.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever we have someone younger that joins the team at work or something like that, and we get on the subject of movies, I'll ask them about movies that I would think would be common knowledge just from my own point of view. You're like, oh, no, never heard of it.
Don't know what that is. Yeah.
never.
Happens all the time. I have a buddy who's a teacher in middle school, and he does like 90s movies references, and they have no idea what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you've crossed the Rubicon. You're just an old fart now.
Yep.
Mm.
Like, oh, it's so cringe.
Yeah.
Stop being cringe.
Is that the thing?
I think so. I think that's what they say now.
Is that what they say now?
Well, if I'm aware of it, they probably say something else. Something stupid like bet.
Bet.
Or some
Facts.
Dumb.
I hear people say facts a lot.
Wow, that's awesome.
Like if you were to tell me something, I'd be like,
that's true.
facts.
Oh, if you agree with it or whatever.
Yeah, facts.
God.
It's overused.
Yeah.
It's like tight. Oh, that's tight. Remember we used to say that?
I never said that.
Oh, because you were just way above it?
Well, no, when it came out, because I remember a childhood friend said that one time. He's like, oh, tight. And I'm like, what? Tight. And I was like, the fuck is that? He's like, it means cool or awesome. And I'm like, just say that. Fuck is tight. And he's like, oh, it's tight. And then a couple other people started saying it, and I think it lasted like 3 weeks or something bullshit. I mean, it lasted longer than that, but it was like that. And then I remember the point where I stopped giving a fuck about slang is when someone said, oh, that's on fleek. And I'm like, what's that mean? Like, on point. And I'm like, then just say fucking on point.
It's not as cool, Jay.
You're not saving syllables. It's not a completely different, like it's still... So you're changing on point to on fleek. It's a random, it's not.
It sets you apart from the crowd, Jay.
Old.
It sets you apart. It's unique. They're cool because they say it, you know? It makes you interesting.
Well, that only lasted, I think, a year.
Oh, well, anyway.
That was like the early 2010s, I feel like. Maybe mid 2010s or something. Whenever they
people say clout a lot too.
Clout.
They're clout chasing, trying to catch that clout.
That kind of makes sense because if you have a lot of clout,
mm-hmm.
you have either power or you have a lot of presence. You're kind of more in a dominant position to where that I can kind of see to where chasing that clout, chasing that presence, that thing.
Are you gonna start saying it?
No, because I'm not a douche. Slang sucks. God, we're old.
We are.
Fucking grumpy.
The grumpy old men.
Hey!
Anything else, Jay?
I think we've covered it. We've covered the upcoming releases.
Yes.
We've touched on my sad collection of movies. We touched on films we like to watch during Thanksgiving, which if you haven't seen Grumpy Old Men, or if you haven't seen Bond movies, or if you haven't seen Home for the Holidays, or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, give them a watch.
Yeah.
Parenthood, all that good stuff. So, and then we touched on shit slang that apparently passes for being cool nowadays.
Tight. Man, it's tight.
It's fucking, tight like a seal. Call me Tupperware. But yeah, so go watch those movies. Enjoy your family this week, and we will
eat a lot of food.
Yeah, eat a lot of food.
I'm going to
get fat, get diabetes, and enjoy yourself. Stay warm. And if you're in a warm climate, then
screw you.
Yeah, fuck off. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the show. Happy Thanksgiving. Join us next time as we jump balls deep in snow. Not cocaine. But we will be discussing our top 5 Christmas movies.
Yes.
So join us next time as we discuss that.
Kicking off the holiday season again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So website and emails in the description. Have any requests, comments? What's your favorite? What do you guys like to watch during Thanksgiving? Let us know. Do you guys have a huge movie collection?
Tell us your favorite slang.
God damn it. Don't do that. Just don't write in. I don't want to hear it. But yeah. So,
Until next time, Jay.
till next time, Matt.